Coach thinks I'm a winner. So does my old man. I'm not a winner because I want to be one. I'm a winner because I got strength and speed, kind of like a racehorse. It's about how involved I am in what's happening to me.
Emilio, to me, in The Breakfast Club, is the real sleeper of the character. There's something subtle and brewing about him that doesn't necessarily come off, even when you see the film for the first time. And I think that the more you see the film, the more you appreciate his performance, which I think is very subtle and good.
I think it's obvious that John Hughes' allegiance is with geeks. So I imagine, and this is just speculation on my part, but I imagine that it was challenging to write this sort of relatable jock. And he pulls it off, and you do feel for him. I like him.
Of the five who seemed so disconnected, to me, he seemed like the guy who made the most effort. He's kind of like the pivot man in the five of them, where he'd come to the defense of Molly Ringwald if Judd Nelson kind of said something inappropriate.
2 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
I think he was very honest in the way he treated Ali Sheedy. She was being weird, and he'd say, "Why are you being so weird?"
Okay, fine. But I didn't dump my purse out on the couch and invite people into my problems.
More than any one of them, if you really think about when you first meet Andy, he's in the pickup truck with his dad, and his dad says,
"You want to miss a match? You want to blow your ride? I know school is going to give a scholarship to a discipline case."
He really doesn't say a whole lot, but you know immediately when he gets out of the truck and he slams the door, you just kind of know immediately without him saying anything that he's not, that his dad is putting this pressure on him.
That may not ring as true to many people, but it does to athletes. They know exactly what he's talking about. It's just that elite athlete reveals him or herself a lot of times pretty early.
I expected a little more from a varsity letterman.
And the pressure begins on them that he's going to go to college because he's going to get a scholarship, without which he's not going to go to college. He's going to get a shit job, which means that maybe when I say, hey, Andy here is thinking about a job being in the custodial arts or whatever. And it's like that moment where it's like, hey, at least for me reading it, it's like you go, that's not a fun moment for Andy, and that pressure. And then why he's in there, tells this ridiculous story about taping a guy's butt cheeks together. I mean, it is ludicrous, but it happens. And he's so I think he's great in the movie.
Said I did it for my old man. I tortured this poor kid because I wanted him to think that I was cool.
He also had great energy and a great working spirit, and to the point where, in between takes, he'd be writing. I mean, the guy was on it.
He does a cool dance.
Woo!
The one thing that jumps out at me is Emilio Estevez kind of running around and singing, and he runs into a room and he screams and the window shatters. It's completely absurd, but somehow John Hughes manages to kind of weave in these absurd moments, and then still the movie makes perfect sense.
It's a movie, so you get to sometimes do things that are unlikely but not impossible. I mean, there was nothing done that was impossible in this movie.
He's using these devices that are more visual than expositional, but you understand exactly what Emilio Estevez is going through at that moment.
He certainly packed a big lunch.